Assalamu alaikum. Today we will do lessons 25, 26, and 27. There will be 3 short lessons, and all of them will have Quran. I was thinking, it's the month of the revelation of the Quran. And Ramadan is supposed to be pondering Quran. And Ramadan should be more than you had before. Inshallah, not more TV dramas, but more of an awareness of what Allah wants from you. Unfortunately, during this time of the fitna, everything has to be about whatever you want to call it. Would you call it the plague? Would you call it the virus? Would you call it the hoax? Does it matter really? All I can say is what Prophet Muhammad taught me in a hadith, that everything without the mention of Allah is batil. أي شيء من غير ذكر الله is, batil is like a combination of useless, not yielding anything, more or less of a lie, not true. Everything wrong is the word batil. So we say al-haq al-haq, wal-batil al-batil. The truth is the truth, and other than that, it's batil, which is why if you say anything without the remembrance of Allah, it's not going to do you any good. So why are we surrounded, it seems everywhere now, with talk of who did it? Is it a plot? Is it something done by those, let's say, Allah calls them Atraf al-Medina, the big shots, who own everything and who organize everything and who don't have our best interests in heart. They have their own interests. So they're going to perhaps develop a vaccine from, human tissue, and it's going to supposedly, now they're telling us, restructure our brains and even our personalities. And they go on and on and on, playing the blame game, and then of course turning it into a party, let's say a party problem. And we in America know what that means. I say concentrate on the words of Allah. Instead of mentioning all of these human beings who have no power. And I was thinking about this deeply last night, because when I was going over my Juz al-Amma, we should always go over that. We memorized it so long ago. But it's always good to review it, because I wanted to choose some Quran for you. And that's what I'm going to do for the remaining days. After all, it is the month the Quran was revealed, and our Qada wa Qadr, we will continue after Ramadan. I chose these 3 surah deliberately because they're short, and I want 3 short lessons. But I chose them to advise and warn, because Prophet Muhammad was told by Allah to advise and warn. And those who follow the Sunnah, be they male or female, are supposed to use Prophet Muhammad as their role model. And because my chosen specialty is Aqidah, over and above all the other branches of Islamic science, I'm going to choose you those that I feel touch you and ought to warn you, yes, using the Aqidah. So I've chosen 3, and I will start with the first one. Surah Quraysh, and we all know the Quraysh, who they were. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وأمانهم من خوف. The Quraysh were a tribe at the time of the Rasul, and they were a powerful tribe, and they had all the wealth, and they more or less had all the political power because they controlled the shrine, the Kaaba. But they controlled it wrongly with idols. And not only did they not relieve the people of their ignorance, they promoted ignorance. They wanted ignorance because that's what keeps them in power. Sound familiar? Quraysh comes from the root qarasha, which means to gather together. So they gathered together very well against the Muslims. And not only that, they controlled the trade routes, north and south. So they were master traders and they were master organizers, and they benefited from doing that like those do today who do similar things. So now I want to explain this surah in a more, let's say, reachable way for us here and now, because everything in the Quran is not just for the time of Prophet Muhammad, it's for all time. So when Allah says لِإِلَافِ Quraysh, He's speaking about their trade routes. And then He does mention رِحْلَتِهِمْ شِتَاءِ وَصَيْفِ. They go back and forth, winter and summer, on their organized trade routes. But then He immediately says, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So, because He recalls for them how they're allowed to do this. Now it's international trade. It's worldwide, and they are allowed to do this. And then He immediately says, فَيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So worship, obey the Lord. Rabb is the one who organizes it for you. هَذَا الْبَيْتِ, this place here that you're in. And then He reminds them, He's the one who feeds you. And He's the one who protects you. الَّذِي يَطْعَمُهُمْ, He feeds them. Now it goes to the third person. مِنْ جُوعٍ وَأَمَانَهُمْ مِنْ خَوْفٍ. And He protects them from fear. Now, some people have fear now. If they don't have extreme tawheed, meaning the oneness of Allah, His names and attributes, and His supreme ability and capability and power over the universe, they're going to be very nervous right now. So that's why I chose this Quraysh, not only to be a parallel, I'm American, to America. Does America really control the trade routes? Well, how would I know? I'm not an expert in maritime law, nor in economics. All I know is that Allah controls everything, and that's where I stop myself. But being raised with the story that America was the greatest power in the world, and deservingly so, because they always win, I was told. But now things are starting to shake. There's a reshuffling going on. So I'm using this Quraysh, and I hope you go over it yourself, to make a parallel between the times in the past and the times we're living in now. See you for the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum.